In this video, we are going to see how to add our own custom CSS to create the animation effect. This is the Alpine's official website and the documentation. If we go down here, we can see all the things you need to know about the animation. So we got 6 different state or directives here. So enter start, enter end, leave start, and leave end. And we are going to use these 6 directives to create our animation. So in order to make it simple, I have already written everything in here, and as you are going to get this document, you can see it from here. So the enter state will be for it is going to be applied on all over the face, like starting from the animation and at the end of the animation. This is going to be happening. In here, we are going to add our transition properties like the duration, timing, the effect like is in, out, or linear, anything. The transition properties should be applied in the interface because this is going to be applied on both inter start and inter end. The inter start will be added before the animation start. That means it is going to be the starting phase of the transition. So let's say you want an element to be faded in, or you can use the opacity. So in any case, if you want to make the opacity from 0 to 100, then in this inter start phase you should give it the opacity of 0. And the inter end phase will be the ending phase of the animation. This is going to removed when the animation finished. Okay, so in this phase, let's say we want to add our final output. Like if you want to use the scale, then this should have the scale of on, so the actual size. Okay, the leave phase is also similar with the interface because it is going to be happening like this is going to be applied on all over the leaving phase. This should be the same as the interface, and we are going to apply our transition properties on this thing. The leave start will be the same as inter start, and leave end should be the final stage of the leave process. That means in here, if we just pop this up and if we again click the toggle button, this is going to be going away. So in this case, the leave end should be like opacity 0 or scale 0 or anything like that. So let's create a custom animation effect. So we are going to use the mostly used animation in the web. So we are going to make it kind of like slide from the bottom to top. So let's do that. And we're not going to use any animation or CSS libraries like Tailwind CSS or Bootstrap or anything. So we are going to create our classes ourselves. In this way you can understand it clearly. So okay, let's do that. And at first we are going to use the transition. So we don't need to add the X transition separately. Let's start adding the classes from now. X transition colon, then the interface. So in this phase we want to have it the class that will be applied all over the interface. So we can actually create an class. Let's name it transition, and we are going to add a transition effect. Transition, let's say all, and I'm just going to use 2 seconds to make it more obvious. We are going to change it later. Maybe is in, out. Okay, now we are going to add this class with the interface. So this is going to be applied all over the entering phase. It is not going to work because we also need to add more classes in here. So let's do the second thing, transition, and this is going to be the inter start. So let's create the class here, and we are again going to use this class at the leave end phase, but let's name it inter start. So at the start we want it somewhere at the bottom, so this is the Y direction. So what we can do is we can use the transform to push it down a little bit. So this is this should be like transform. I got the spelling wrong, transform, and as this is the y axis or the vertical axis, it should be Y, and the bottom would be like the positive value. So let's push it at the down like 100 pixels. Now it should be somewhere in here, and also I want it to be the opacity of 0, so this is going to be totally invisible. Then when the inter finish, it is kind of like popping up from the below to upward. Okay, so we are going to add the inter_stat class with the inter_stat phase. Let's save. See, so what's happening here is that this is going to push on 100 pixels below the normal position, and it is also going to have the opacity of 0. Then this is going to be popped up and going to have the opacity of 100 and also going to the normal position, but we haven't applied it yet, right? But this is the normal position, this is the normal thing, and by default this is going to be happening. But if we just click toggle again, this is going to be fading away really quickly because we haven't added anything. So let's do that. Transition, and this should be like leave. We missed on stage, we are going to add it later, but not now. So this in this level, it is also going to have the transition effect. So this is going to be applied on the leave stage also. So if we click it, it is going to be popped up, but if we click it again, nothing's going to happen, right? Okay, so we need to actually add a effect with the leave, like the end stage and the starting stage. So we are going to add the starting stage later because this is the normal position and the opacity is the starting stage. So let's add the transition and leave end. So at the end, what we want is the same thing as the inter_stat. So it is going to come from here and pops up in here, right? And when it is going to be totally fading away, we want that to be in here and the opacity of 0. So I'm just going to add the inter_stat thing in here, the class actually. Okay, let's toggle in and click toggle. Okay, this is going to be happening perfectly. But for safety, or maybe you want to do something customized here, we can also create the end stage for the inter thing. So this is going to be the normal, like the transform Y should be 0. This is the normal position, opacity should be 100, and this inter_end class should be also the leave start class, right? Because at the initial state of leaving, it should be at the normal state. Then this is going to be opacity 0 and transition Y direction or 100 pixels, right? So let's do that. I'm just going to copy and paste this, and this is going to be the inter_end, and for the leave start, it is going to be the same inter_end. Also, you can create different classes by naming differently, but I'm just going to use the same classes. Now it is going to be slides up from the bottom and again goes away. It's perfect. Now let's decrease the values a little bit, otherwise this is going to be looking very bad. I'm just going to make it 40 pixels. The opacity should be on, nothing else. Okay, now it should be 40 pixels. Also, let's reduce the time a little bit, like 0.5 second, and see. I'm also going to reduce by half, like 20 pixels, and now it is perfect. So this is how we can actually add our own classes to create this animation. And if you are using a framework or library like Tailwind CSS, you can use their own classes like transition, and in the official documentation of the Alpine, they have used the Tailwind CSS classes like transition, is out, duration, dash the value, and opacity 0 to make it 0 or anything. So if you want to do that, this is also fine, but if you are not using any libraries, then you have to create your own classes. So this is the gist, that interface and the leave phase should have the transition effect. The inter start and the leave end should be the same if you want that, and the inter start and okay, I'm just did the same thing in here. It should be a start and it should be the end. Let's save. Okay, so this inter start phase and the leave end phase should be exactly the same in this case like here, but if you want to do something different, you can also do that. Like let's say you want to make it pop up from the below, and then when it goes away it should goes at the top. We can also do that. Actually, let's do that. So let's create different class like leave end. This is going to be the same, so we are going to create a class named leave end, and in here this is going to be a little bit different. So we want a minus value with the I. See, now this is working perfectly fine. It is comes up from the below, then when it leaves it is going up. Okay, so this is everything about using classes to add the transition. I hope you liked it. So see you in the next video.